One moment, Mrs. Thien. Can you talk to Mrs. Thien?
Hello. I'm Ray Woodard.
Oh, of course, Mrs. Woodard.
And you must be the indispensable Georgia.
Oh, thank you. I've heard a great deal about you, too.
Is Councilman Ryan in? I don't have an appointment.
Oh, I'm sure that doesn't matter, Mrs. Woodard. He's on the phone, but you can go right in.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful, Mrs. Thien. Well, no, I knew he could do it. He's an intelligent, hard-working young man. Not at all. Sure. Well, give him my best wishes and keep me posted, okay? Sure. Goodbye. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, here, let me take your coat.
Good. How many votes were in that phone call?
Well, none, actually. No, they're a Vietnamese family. They're still waiting for their citizenship. I recommended her son to, well, for a scholarship, and she just called to tell me that he made Dean's List. Well, I've got to say, I am very proud.
Oh, you're a good judge of people.
Well, you look like you've just come from a very extravagant lunch.
I beg to differ with you. I have not even had lunch. I have just come from a board meeting of the top brass of the Woodard Empire.
Oh, well, I didn't know you had a meeting today.
I didn't. I called it. Complete with a conference hookup coast to coast.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, so were they, all of them. I decided, since I've put Bill's funeral behind me, the thing to do was put his corporation behind me, too. And the best way to do that was make it my corporation. Therefore, as of this morning, there is a completely new distribution of duties and authority.
And no arguments?
Well, not yet. They have until tomorrow to decide whether to accept the new corporate structure or 2 months severance.
I see.
There won't be any trouble. I may have to fire a few people and start over, but I've got it all in hand.
And all of that before lunch.
I'll work better on an empty stomach.
Oh, which reminds me, excuse me. Yeah, Georgia, it's past your lunchtime again. Well, don't worry about the letter. You can take care of that when you get back. Just go on out now. No, well, hold on. Want a sandwich?
Lean pastrami on rye with mustard.
2 lean pastrami, 2, what was that?
Lean pastrami on rye with mustard.
2 lean pastrami on rye with mustard.
And 2 pickles and a beer.
And 2 pickles and 2 beers. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave my door open. Thank you.
Oh, you know, I am so glad I'm having lunch here instead of in some restaurant.
So am I.
You've been wonderful to me. I owe you a great debt.
Well, I don't know.
I do. You got me through the black times. I could have wallowed in grief for a long time, but I didn't. Because I had a place to go outside the structure Bill and I had built. Gave me another perspective. And since I have gotten the bread and butter aspects of my business life completely in hand, I've decided now to turn my attention once again to what really interested Bill and me.
Politics.
Yeah, specifically your campaign. Bill was looking forward to it, and I'm going to be obsessed with it.
No, I can't deny I've been giving it a lot of thought.
You're going to have to rethink a few things. I haven't told you this, but before he died, Bill and I decided that you were not going to run for the House of Representatives. You're going to run for the Senate.
For the
Senate.
And to us.
Please.
Mr. Innocente will be doing a great favor. That space next door has been empty for 2 months now.
Gonna be a big girl now and help your dad write his newspaper column?
No. You won't have to do a thing. No, I'll take care of everything. Breaking through the wall, the plastering, the painting. I'll make it very nice. Then instead of a one-room apartment, this will be a one-bedroom apartment.
You hear what your old man's doing? He's promoting you a room all your own.
That's what I've been saying, Mr. Innocente. Won't cost you a penny. Yeah, I'd just like a little help with the rent. We're gonna make a nursery for the bambina.
Oh, he's a sly one, that father of yours.
Oh, sure, I understand. I'll be waiting for your call. Ciao. Buongiorno.
Oh, very clever, Finelli. Thrown a little of the Gaelic, too.
One sure way to get around Italians. We'll do anything for baby.
He said yes.
Oh, no, he's got to talk to his brother, the insurance company, first, and his cousin, the attorney, and Mrs. Innocente. But I think we got a deal.
Oh, Jack, you're wonderful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But who's going to do the work?
Who? Well, who? The best, that's who. The construction company of Finelli and Finelli, the plasters, Finelli and Finelli, and the painters,
No
Finelli and...
painters. I've already picked out the wallpaper.
Oh, then the wallpaper team of Finelli
And
Finelli. But one thing, though, when we go through the wall, we're gonna have to move, because in an old building like this, the plaster dust gets into everything. Little baby's eyes and ears and nose.
We could stay with the folks.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Oh, it won't be so bad.
Yeah, it will, but I won't mind, because I'll have my love to keep me warm.
Yeah, and we do love this guy, don't we, Ryan?
Well, what's so hard to love?
Jack, before we start the work, can we have a dinner party?
Nursery? Staying with your family? Now a dinner party?
Well, it's just, I'm just so ecstatic, I want to share it.
Oh, I see. An ecstatic dinner party. Well, how ecstatic? I mean, how many happy people? Hmm?
Oh, I haven't thought about it.
Oh, yes, you have.
About 6?
It's already out of control.
4.
5.
5.
Yeah, you, me, Ryan, 2 others.
Okay, which 2?
Faith.
And Tom.
Oh, I knew this was going to be a test.
Oh, come on, your promise. There's absolutely nothing to be jealous of. Tom and I are friends, and that's all we ever were, and that's all we ever will be.
I remember. Yeah. He, nothing serious between you, and he helped get us back together.
Well, do you really believe that, or are you just saying it?
I'm saying it in order to believe it.
Well, there's nothing to be insecure about. Absolutely nothing. Here we go, Tom. Oh,
Okay. I'll be nice to Tom and Faith. Okay?
thank you.
Hey, you better get going to work.
Oh,
Come here, come on.
Right.
Come on, honey. Hey, that's right.
So, I'll make out the invitations this afternoon.
Miss Ryan Finelli and Mr. and Mrs. Jack Finelli request the pleasure of your company at an ecstatic dinner party.
Goodbye, Bambina. Remember what I told you?
Huh? Secrets?
Ryan's going to help you write your column.
You mean you're gonna give up your time with Whaley just to help me? Well, I'm honored. Listen, you know, the city has a big budgetary mess, you know. And I was thinking that maybe if we took tax...
Seneca, Clem wants you to take a look at Lily Ryan's file. I mean, she seems to be improving physically. Are you all right?
Yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night.
Doesn't look like you got any at all.
Shows, huh?
A little bit. What happened?
I told Jill that Frank was Edmund's father.
Oh.
Yeah. See, the irony is that Jill finally agreed to marry me, Bucky. So there I was. I had no choice. I had to tell her.
You did the right thing, Seneca.
I honestly didn't think it was going to change anything. I mean, okay, biology, genetics, all those things count. But what matters most are human feelings, Bucky. I was astonished that her response was so furious.
Seneca, you're thinking in terms about how good you'd be for Jill and Edmund and how bad Frank would be.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, but what about Jill? I mean, she makes her own decisions. She directs her own life. I mean, you're talking about biology and genetics, but it's more than that. I mean, Seneca, it's a reality. Regardless of how you feel about Frank Ryan, he's still the father of Edmund. It doesn't make any difference how much they mean to you. And you withheld that information, that truth, that reality from Jill and deprived of her right to make a decision. I'm not surprised she's upset. Now, listen, I'm sorry. I don't mean to lay all this on you. I am sorry she reacted badly, and I do believe you'd be good for Jill and Edmund, but at the same time, Seneca, I mean, you tried to run her life. I mean, you can't be surprised that she's furious about that.
Yeah, well, I did tell her, didn't I?
Yeah. Finally. And it was the right and loving thing to do. But Seneca, you took a long time to do it.
Bucky, I wanted to be absolutely sure that Frank Ryan was out of her system.
Well, some people would call that manipulation. What happens next?
She's gonna tell Frank.
The Senate?
You don't like the Senate.
Oh, yes, it's enormously flattering, but isn't it a bit impractical?
Why?
Mary, Bob, and Jill ran my last campaign out of a shoebox. I don't have the kind of
Of
organization.
course you don't. I do. Come on, Frank. Bill was going to run for the Senate. I have an organization ready to go. My disposal. It has everything but a candidate, and it can be transferred to you as easily as I reorganized Woodard Publications this morning.
But it was Bill's campaign.
So, now it's your campaign. Bill wanted it that way.
What I mean is, it was him image. It was built on his image. The image of a mature, experienced man, an elder statesman. That's not me, Ray.
You look like a senator to me.
All right, legally I'm old enough, but that doesn't mean that I can...
Before Bill got sick, long before we even thought of backing you, the only problem he really had was his age. Come on, you know it. This entire country is geared on youth, and politics is no exception. Yes, people want their candidate to have experience, but they are also attracted by energy, action, imagination. They follow things that move. Well, you're a mover. You don't have a long record, but you do have a good one. And I have a political machine in 26 towns and cities in this state, plus newspapers and television stations just waiting to promote the Frank Ryan image. You got everything Bill had, except one thing. You're young.
He was young in spirit because of you.
Now, he did the best he could, you know, but he really couldn't do that. He couldn't be the broom that swept it all clean. The breath of fresh air. Well, he tried, but... Well, if he'd had your youth, your vim and vigor, no limits to what he could have done, but... He wanted you to have it all, you know that.
Yes.
You gave him so much pleasure, Frank. You were such a source of joy for him at the end there, the only... Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, it's all right.
No, I just thought of something, and it's so silly, and I thought I was all over it, and I guess I'm not.
Well, maybe what you ought to do is give in to it.
It's just, I miss him so much, you know? So very much. And I'm all alone.
Shows.
Get those on none of the harmful side.
No, late shift today. I don't have to be to the hospital for a while. I am whipping up a Coleridge special. Would you like one?
No, thanks. I'm glad I caught you.
What's up?
You are invited to the Finellis for dinner tomorrow night. Can you come?
Yes. You mean Jack's? I mean your apartment?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? The man's really becoming a regular social animal.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'd love to come.
Do you mind if I ask Tom, too?
Mine? No. That's terrific.
How are things going with you two?
Mary?
Oh, please, Faith. I think you guys are great together, and I just want to know how it's working out.
And I think it's an outrage for you to go around picking out your own successor.
That's nonsense. I am not.
Yes, you are.
Well, what if I am? I think Tom's sensational. I'm very fond of him. And I think you're sensational. I'm very fond of you. And, well, I mean, because I couldn't have him because I'm taken, I think you should have him. And what's the harm in that, huh?
Oh, he is a little bit sensational.
It's working. I knew it.
Big surprise. You've been setting up this match ever since Ryan was born.
Yeah, and Ryan's going to be talking soon. What's taking you so long?
Well, it's been gradual for both of us.
A little more for me lately. Why?
I wish I knew more about him.
Oh, don't we all?
I feel instinctively that he's a truly good person. He's gentle and kind, but there's something lurking back there. I get close to him, and then I feel there's something hiding, and I start to wonder. I can't help it.
I know. It's hard.
And I suppose that there is some of Pat left over. Oh, why can't things be simple?
Have you heard anything from Pat today, anyway?
Nothing new. Delia's pretty much unglued, apparently. Physically, she's mending, but... Oh, why go into it?
I warned Pat about Delia till I was blue in the
Oh,
face.
everybody did. Pat is a perfectly rational human being, except when it comes to Delia.
You know, if I had $1 million, I'd buy her a lifetime ticket for a trip around the world.
Except that she'd get bored somewhere around Nova Scotia and come back looking for Patty.
Oh, no more Delia. I've had a wonderful day, and I have no intention of spoiling it on her.
Good.
Now, oh, dear. Oh, dear.
What?
I better get back to Channel R. So, I'll call Tom, and as Jack says, tomorrow we'll have dinner for 5. Jack, me, Ryan, you, and Tom.
I get to sit between Ryan and Tom.
You got it.
Is she really talking?
Oh, sure. Can't understand a word she says, but she talks. A blue streak. Bring a baby dictionary.
I will. How about some wine?
Oh, no, nothing. Just Tom Desmond.
What are we having?
Oh, I have no idea. I can't get over it. You and Tom, it's working.
Not yet, Mayor. Not yet.
Someday, the different kinds of safe on results at there.
Jill.
Excuse me, this is not a good time. I'll see you later.
What was that all about?
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if she misinterpreted. Thought she was interrupting something when she wasn't interrupting something.
Oh. Maybe.
Hi. You look like you've just been through a hurricane.
Seneca informed me last night that Frank Ryan is Edmund's father. Yeah, that was my first reaction. Speechless. At first.
Jill, how is that possible?
Oh, it all works out. Medically, chronologically, blood types and subtypes. Anyway, it's true.
But you were pregnant after you and Seneca were together out at the beach house.
No, I wasn't. Those symptoms were precisely what I thought they were, brought on by stress. It was a month later in September after Frank had left Delia and we got back together. That's when Edmund was conceived.
How long has Seneca known this?
Since Edmund's operation.
He has been lying to you all this time?
Oh, no, he doesn't think of it as lying. He was just waiting.
Waiting for what?
Waiting for me to get over Frank so that he could save me from him. Waiting long enough to establish himself as Edmund's emotional father, to move into my apartment and into my life. And then finally last night, only after I had agreed to marry him.
Marry him?
Only then did he tell me the truth.
You said that you were going to marry him?
By candlelight, to violins in the Cafe Budapest. And I'll tell you, for an hour there, he really had me convinced. I mean, I really believe that he gave me credit for being capable of guiding my own life, and that he was prepared to love me, not as an extension of himself, but as a independent, free-thinking person. And this.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's not the worst of it. I can resist that. I can assert myself, and I've done that. But to manipulate my son, when he doesn't have the slightest right to do that, he has been guiding the course of Edmund's life.
Jill, what are you going to do now?
The only thing that I can do, I've got to tell Frank. I was just over at his office, but he was there with Ray Woodard.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so now I just have to wait for a better moment, that's all.
Jill.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly how I feel. Faith. Frank he's changed. He's heading to a place that I don't like. Now, I know that you think that is all in my mind, but I'll tell you one thing. Ray Woodard is not going to affect my son's life in any way. And that's why I have to tell Frank as soon as possible.
Jill. First of all, what do you want from him?
Want?
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want anything from anybody, not from Frank, not from Seneca. Now, Edmund and I will be fine on our own. Oh, I know that Frank has to know, especially if I choose to raise Edmund on my own. He's still Frank's son.
I wonder what Frank will do when he finds out.
Settle in for a night of drama featuring the biggest stars from your favorite TV shows and movies. It's your night for a great film with the Sunday Night Movies, every Sunday night at 10 on SoapNet.